Okay. So we are conducting this interview as part of our unpacking of leadership standards. And ours for this group was customer service. So we were assigned to you to kind of get your expertise from that perspective. So I'll go ahead and go first. I'm Kathleen Flasco. I'm the department chair for social studies at Westfield High School. And my question is, from your perspective, how do you define our internal and our external customers in FCPS?
Okay. So for FCPS, I would say that our good evening, everyone. I would say our internal customers in FCPS would be staff, teachers, administrators, and students who directly benefit from our programs, our grants, or support. And then our external customers would be community members, business partners, or donors, or alumni, and families who contribute to or engage with Educate Fairfax initiatives to enhance those educational opportunities within the division.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Dr. Henry. I'm Andrea Rovi. I'm an ESOL teacher at Clearview Elementary School in Herndon. And my question is, who do you define as your customer for Educate Fairfax?
I would say our primary customers are FCPS students. We raise funds and build partnerships solely to support Fairfax County Public Schools. So I would say our primary customers will be our FCPS students because they're the center of everything we do. Even when we support educators, we're still supporting students. And our secondary customers will be teachers, administrators, educators who are implementing the programs that we fund. So funding might come through Educate Fairfax for those programs. Or I would also say our customers are our donors, our partners, our community stakeholders, because without them, we wouldn't have the funding or we wouldn't have the support that would allow us to fulfill our mission in investing in educational excellence and supporting FCPS.
Importance of donors. Got it. Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Henry. I'm Eva Busbras. I'm the STEAM resource teacher at Bucknell Elementary School in Alexandria. Very nice to meet you.
Me too.
Our next question is, how do you measure student or customer satisfaction? And what does the response to that data look like?
We measure satisfaction through one of the things we do. For example, we provide Educate Fairfax grants to our educators, our teachers in classrooms, and we always look for impact reports. So we want to know the impact of the funding, impact of the programming that benefited from the funding. But we also get feedback for other programs we support, not just within the classroom, but across the division. We just completed like an alumni survey, so we do surveys as well. And then direct engagement. We talk to students. I went to an event just recently and talking to students. Some of them never heard of Educate Fairfax. So sometimes we support, but they don't necessarily know that we are the ones who provided the support. But talking to students, talking to teachers and families are one of the ways we gather data to understand how our programs are working. And then we take that feedback and we look, what are some areas that we can improve on what we're doing? What are some things we can adjust the work that we're doing in order to make sure that we're aligning with a strategic goal and we're meeting student and teacher needs. Our goal is to maximize impact. So getting that feedback helps us to know what are some things that we may want to do differently. For example, coming in and recognizing that our grants were just teacher grants meant that if a family liaison in a school wanted to apply, they may not be able to apply for the grants. And so we've opened up our grants to call them Educate Fairfax grants, giving more people within a school to be able to apply, a counselor, a SOSA, but different people to be able to apply and to be able to support students within the school across the division.
Thank you for opening up Educate Fairfax to others, because I personally put in a grant earlier in this year, so I wouldn't have had that opportunity if you didn't do that. So, and I think everyone in the group, at least at one point, we talked about in our group that used Educate Fairfax for a grant. So thank you.
You're welcome.
And Dr. Henry, thank you so much for taking the time this evening. Alex Robbins, the Government Relations Specialist in the Office of Government Relations and the Office of the Chief of Staff. So my question to you is, in your role at Educate Fairfax, what do you do for students?
So we support students by funding programs that address critical needs. One of those areas is basic needs. So we have a fund called Kids in Need, where we support students with school supplies, food security. So we might work with schools that need food pantries. We work with the homeless office to make sure that students, whether it be food or clothing or transportation, to support students around health and medical in terms of supporting them around immunizations, vision care. But we also support them across innovative programs. So we have an innovative fund. For example, let's say that Algebra 1 by 8th grade, or the Global Classroom Project, different things that we do, whether it be across the division. So not only with grants within the division, we also support, even although there's a grants office in Fairfax County Public Schools, we support schools who want to apply for grants that need to come through a 501c3. And so the funding will come through us, and then we provide the funding to the school. So we provide opportunities where students might have support to STEM programs or workforce learning. We also look at access and equity in terms of students and understanding the needs. So we look across the division, and when different people are reaching out for resources, we want to make sure that students that have less and need more are also getting that support. So recognizing that there may be some schools that have more resources and some that have less. And so we want to pay attention to those things. We support all students, but we want to make sure that those who are underserved are getting the resources they need to thrive. We also make sure that we collaborate with divisions, like we collaborate with the grants office, like I shared, to come through us, but we also participate and collaborate with the Business and Community Partnership Office. They call themselves the Friendraiser, and we call ourselves the Fundraiser. But we work collaboratively because we may have business partners who want to not only donate, but they want to engage or volunteer within the school system. So we would connect them through Business and Community Partnership. We would work with them in order to engage so that they're having opportunities to work with the students, or to see the funding that they have used to support schools. How are the students being impacted? So we pay attention to that. But one of the things I would say that we really want to do in supporting students also, we want to provide opportunities for students to work with us and to volunteer time. So many of them need those volunteer hours. And we also feel like there's a perspective that we're missing. And so we think in our organization, it would benefit us to maybe have some more students involved in our organization. So we're hoping to be able to establish a student organization, a leadership group of students that work in collaboration with our office and with the school district.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hi, Dr. Henry. I'm Jessica Klein. I'm the school-based technology specialist at the Fairfax County Adult High School. And my question is, where do the funds come from for all the grants? Like, we know there's donors, but can you tell us anything maybe more specific about where those funds come from?
Sure. Of course, you said they're donors. Some of them are individual donors. So there's maybe community members who are passionate about supporting public education. But also we work with companies that maybe in the area, companies where maybe some alumni might have gone on and contributed in their organization, but want to give back. So we work with companies to understand not only their mission and interest, but to share with them what are some of the needs within our district. So that's some of the ways that we get our funding. For example, if you think about I-66 Express Mobility Partners, they work right within the area. And so not only have we established partnership in terms of them giving time, but also they have provided funding for grants. So sometimes in helping organizations to know what we need, We also apply through to get funding from philanthropic organizations. So sometimes we can get funding that way. Sometimes there are organizations that reach out to us and say, we want to support Fairfax County Public Schools. So funding may come through that way. We also do fundraising events. So we might have, we just did our CPS Alumni Hall of Fame, and we had a silent auction there. And, you know, we want to start a scholarship fund for students. So we took the funding from that, and we're going to be able to support some students with scholarships. So those are some of the ways we are looking to do more fundraising in order to bring in more funding so that we can support the school division even more.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, back to me. So credibility with the public or with our stakeholders was something that was an important part of this leadership competency. So we're wondering how, as a system, we establish and maintain that credibility with the public and within our own system.
So credibility for us is built through, we believe in transparency, accountability, and then consistent communication. We want to build trust and maintain trust. And so it's important for us to share the impact, whether it be the impact of a grant, a program, any kind of funding we provide. We ask to find out what was the impact, right? We want to hear about that so we can be able to demonstrate the benefits of donor contributions. We provide financial transparency. So we publish our annual reports. Right now, our website is down because we are revising and going to relaunch our website, but we publish our 990 form, which is our annual report of how we spend funding within the organization. So anybody can go online and find that. You can find it through, you know, anywhere online, you'll find our annual reports. We also engage with stakeholders. So not only are we making decisions, but we're making sure that stakeholders are part of our decision making. And one of the things that we're increasing this year is we have a board of volunteer members that have really supported our organization, but we also are looking to add staff and looking to add more community members to have a perspective and input in our decision-making processes and supporting the work that we do. So we want to engage more and have more voices in the work that we do. And we deliver. You know, if we say that we are going to support, we are going to make sure that the funds are there. And we want to make sure that they're allocated effectively and that we are getting measurable results. So we can provide that return on investment to organizations, individual donors. And when funding comes in, we always thank our donors. We always make sure that we go back and thank our donors. But even one of the things that we've done this year is instead of like mailing checks to schools, we've established a system with the division where we actually send our funds through the comptroller's office directly to schools. And so we have a system now where we can send funding directly to schools, directly to departments, and the controller's office has worked with us on this so that we are maintaining transparency within the division of where we're funding. We are also looking across the division to see who's getting funding and who's not getting funding, so that we can begin to look and support. Maybe there are some schools that really need resources, but they don't even know we exist or they haven't applied for funding. And so we will want to reach out and share, you know, and support those schools that may not be receiving any funding at all. So those are some of the things that we're trying to do to maintain credibility and build trust within the system.
That's really valuable. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi again, Dr. Henry. So our last question is, which category or phase of customer service do you feel FCPS Educate Fairfax falls into and why? And there's 4. There's reactive, tactical, strategic, and customer centric.
So when I read through that, I would say that I believe Educate Fairfax operates in the strategic phase of customer service. And I say that because I feel like our work focuses on proactive engagement. We anticipate the needs and we actually complete a request for support to kind of understand what are some of the needs within the district. And then we make sure that we are aligning our goals with FCPS. So we have conversations with our superintendent, we have conversations across departments to be able to make sure that we're understanding what are the priority initiatives and how we are supporting. So very strategic. We foster partnerships and we adapt to emerging challenges like food insecurity is one of the big ones that we see. And so we are creating targeted initiatives to be able to support. But I would also say that we fall in a bit to the customer-centric approach in terms of strategy and impact. And that piece is critical to us. And our goal overall is to lead in not just innovation, but collaboration, and ensure that, you know, every action that we take is going to support the ultimate goal of student success and well-being.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We so appreciate you taking the time, Dr. Henry. It's good to get, you know, some concrete examples and explanations for like these more overarching themes, and definitely applying them to our district specifically. So we really appreciate you taking the time. As Eva mentioned, I am a recipient of an Educate Fairfax grant for a classroom library that I applied for, and I have the little sign that you guys provide so that everybody knows that's what funded it. So we just really appreciate your work and your taking the time.
You're very welcome. And I think y'all are doing great work, and we would love to continue to support you. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to share more about Educate Fairfax as well.
Really appreciate it. Thank you, Dr. Henry.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Bye, Dr. Henry. Thank you.
Bye-bye. You're welcome. Bye-bye.